All right, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
No, of course, man. When you have so many like of these like student athletes that are elite and high caliber like yourself, it always just makes it really interesting. I think, you look at the channel right now, there's so many names that are kind of being released, especially pretty soon. It's good just to hear from you. Good to hear like your kind of aspect of training and your mindset of everything. Which I think most people, typically don't really get to see that much. Um, but before we get into all that running stuff, I always start off with just I'm curious, man. Like who are you? Like what kind of hobbies do you do outside of running?
Um, I would say I do I'm a self-taught pianist, which is fun. I've been doing that for 2 years. And my friend recently got me into disc golf. So I do that a lot of after runs, which is fun. It's just kind of something to do to like get away from running to like because if you're thinking about running all the time, it's good, but a little too much. It's like too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So I like getting away and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. Running seems to consume a lot of my time here and there. So, but yeah, dude, pianist. Like, how did that start? Are you like YouTube or something, or like, is there an app?
Yeah, I started with it was like maybe a year and a half ago. I was like, man, we have a piano. I was like, I should try to learn it. So I just looked at YouTube videos and stuff, and I just kind of play by ear and I make my own stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is unique as heck. I've heard quite a few things. A couple actors, actresses, uh, singing, choir, uh, piano though. Haven't heard that one before, especially YouTube, which is you know, it's kind of cool because you can just learn now. You can learn anything on YouTube
Yeah, it
nowadays.
can teach you
Um,
anything at this point.
it can teach you anything. I know. I go to YouTube for every little thing if I'm trying to do something around the house or put something together. But that's cool. How'd you get started with running then?
It was about I was probably 11 or probably 11, I think. And my mom signed us up for this community race I think it was in Beaufort. And we just did that. I didn't necessarily wasn't into running, like I wasn't like constantly running all the time, but like I think I ran maybe twice a week, a month before the race. And then I think I ran like maybe like 22, 23 minutes, and I was like it wasn't easy, but I was like, this is sort of fun, you know? And then in seventh grade, I joined my church's cross country team, and I ended up doing pretty good. I think I ran like maybe 1850 in seventh grade, so I was like, this might be something I want to continue, you know? And then eighth grade year happened, and I got a little better. And then ninth grade, I was like, this is what I really want to do going forward. You went silent. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I didn't hear what
Oh,
you were
okay.
saying.
Dang, man, I just went on a whole rant. No, so I was saying just about starting off with running. It's so unique because everybody has their own kind of story. Um, and it's weird how you kind of get just hooked in, and once you're hooked in, you're kind of in it for a while or for a life.
Hmm.
But I want to talk about cross country this past season. Uh, Definitely interesting, an interesting year I think for yourself.
Hmm.
I think you definitely opened up, kind of put more of a staple of like your mark on the state. 15:39 PR this year. Was there anything that kind of clicked early on where you're like, hey, I think I can run, that kind of time? Was there anything like during training or like were the workouts faster, easy runs faster? Was there anything like that?
Like in that year that I thought I
Yeah.
was going to be able to do that. Yeah, I think there was a couple workouts that I was like, I was hitting the times and I was like, yeah, I can run this or even quicker than that. And I felt like I was ready to run that time when I did.
Yeah. Um, and then I look at like second at state quals, individually, and then third at states. Was there? I guess let's start with quals, state quals. Going into that race, what was kind of like the game plan? Was it just do what you need to do to get the states, or were you looking for a fast time?
That one was kind of go out there and kind of see what I could do because that particular course, Fort Jackson, is a course I really like. And it was a course I made a big breakthrough the year before. So I was like, I think I could run something quick. So I didn't necessarily go out with the leader, but I just went out within myself and I just tried to hold on, and that went really well.
Yeah, second at state quals is always definitely a confidence boost heading into the
Hmm.
state meet itself. Third at states, what was the game plan going into that?
Into states.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in my mind. I really wanted to try to put myself in the position to win, which I sort of did. We kind of all went out in a pack, but it just my rails kind of fell off towards the end.
Do you think like what? I guess I think when you look at like each race, you can kind of learn something. I mean, even if you win or even if you PR, you can kind of look at something and um, maybe want to change something, even with a PR race. For that race itself, what do you think kind of did you in at the end to not be able to kind of like to not kind of finish at the top?
Well, I think it was a mix between I kind of lost it when the top leader he kind of broke off from us at like I think 2 miles, and it wasn't what I was expecting to happen. And I tried to push forward, but then I don't know. It just the legs weren't there that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it happens. It happens.
yeah.
I'm curious. I want to talk about your team a little bit because I think I mean it's gonna be a really good conversation about your team here. Um, I don't want to say like what happened, but I guess in general terms, what happened? Like first at state quals and then fourth as a team. Um, I know the course ran slow that day. Um, I mean, it seemed to run slow for everybody, but if everybody's running slow, there's not really an excuse, I guess per se. Um, what do you think did happen? Just of how you guys weren't able to kind of close that down.
Yeah, we still think about that. It's like it was very upsetting coming in number one seed and then finishing fourth, not even podium. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what we put on it. Our coach always says that our minds weren't in it on the day, which could be true. It's like we didn't, I mean, we worked all season for that moment. And I think when it came, we just kind of like when the lights were bright, we kind of folded, I think, a little bit.
So when you go into that, obviously you're ranked number one going into that. Um, is there a lot of talk about that? I don't want to say like egos get us like the best of you. But like, is there talk about it, or do you guys try and keep it like kind of taboo and just don't even say we're the kind of top dogs there?
Oh yeah, amongst our team at least, we were like, we know that it's close because like at regions we won by I think 1 point, and at lower states we won by 2 points. So we were like, there's four teams in it. It's who can do it on the day. So we weren't. I wouldn't say we were necessarily braggadocious about coming in number one because we knew it was whoever could do it on the day. Anybody had a
Yeah,
chance to win.
yeah, that's the cool part about I mean just sports in general. And I was talking to Ava Lindsay, the number one girl returner for next year. And it's similar. It's like nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's ever guaranteed. You could be out there and rank number one and have a huge PR over the field, but nothing's ever guaranteed in a race. With that being said, though, too, like I mean, I remember my team back in the day. We it's hard to like not talk about the rankings because it's so like out there. But I guess it's kind of just like how much fun you have with it too. Just not getting so caught up in the moment. Now you did run at the Virginia Showcase this year. How was that experience? I haven't been up there before, but I've heard it's really nice.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a fun experience too. But I ran decent, but I was hard to get out with that many people. And I think I
Yeah,
just kind of it was I kind of got stuck in that race. And after
yeah. I
that
was
it was hard to make up ground. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna ask that. Like, it seems because they have videos from like Flow Track, but it seems pretty packed. It seems packed, and is there a lot of space to maneuver around there?
Not,
Or
not really, not really. It's a great course. It's really flat, but there's
yeah,
there's not much room to move anywhere because there's a lot of people. I think we were in the showcase race, so it was a lot of people to try to move around.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that you can tell it from video, and but until you ask somebody like who's actually been in the race itself, it's like
Hmm.
it looks pretty rough. I can only imagine running it. But it's gotta be kind of cool though too. You're like I don't know, just being in a huge pack like that is kind of
It's
interesting to say the
it's
least.
something, yeah, it's definitely something you don't get in South Carolina a lot.
Yeah, I
Running
think
there.
maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the only one that I could think of is like maybe Eye Opener.
Yeah.
on a scale of just how large it would be.
Hmm.
But then again, that course is a little bit more wide open to maneuver, at least in some spots. Um, do you have a favorite course, whether it be in South
Definitely.
Carolina or North Carolina, anywhere?
In state, it has to be Fort Jackson. That's my definite favorite course. And then out of state, I have to hot take McAlpine. Is I ran Foot Locker last season, and it was really fun. It was a really fun experience to run that.
Yeah, Jackson is always interesting. I've heard a couple people mention Jackson. I guess that hill doesn't really, you don't mind it.
I don't mind it at all. Like it was a very mixed amongst our team, but I think it helps because I feel like it helps break certain people, but I don't know why, but that hill I just really enjoy running up. It's really fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. McAlpine too. I actually ran there yesterday with my kids. And I always we ran there a couple weeks ago and we went back last or yesterday to do it. Um, and that hill always I remember running it in high school and I was like, like you just get up it. Now running it, I'm like, oh my God, like it's a lot longer than you think. It keeps going. It keeps going until the top, and then that downhill is just ridiculous.
It's a wild adventure downhill.
It is a wild adventure downhill. I don't know how they do it. I've ran that course had to be 4 times in a race. Freshman year. I think I started running it freshman year. Um, I don't know how anybody doesn't fall.
Yeah, like we were talking like in our pre-race at Foot Locker, we were like, someone's gonna fall down this hill, but
Like,
I didn't see anybody, so
yeah,
yeah,
and then I've never seen anybody either. And then if you don't turn, you'll just go straight into that lake, that little pond. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, I need to put up like a sign right there, like
like a
just
guard. Yeah.
yeah, just advertising like the channel or something. You can't miss it. Um, for maybe next year. But yeah, okay. So McAlpine and Jackson. Um, any cross country like workouts that you kind of like to gravitate towards that kind of just make you feel like stronger in control?
Hmm. I think one or two we did was we did 2K. I think it was 2 minutes rest in between each one. So it was 2K at 5K race pace, then 2 minutes rest, 1K, then 1K, 1K. So it was 2K, three times a K. And then that one was good, all at race pace. And that one, I did that one, I think 2 weeks before lower states, and I was like, we're ready to run fast at that one. After that one, it was good. And then another one we did it was tough. It has to be one of the hardest workouts I've ever done, but it gave me some confidence. It was 3K, 2 minutes rest, 2K, 2 minutes rest, 1K. So that one was really tough.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna just write this stuff down, man. They're giving secrets here. I haven't heard those two workouts before. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Hmm.
I've done 1K repeats, but never added the 2K in there or even 3K in that. So that's pretty cool. Overall, I guess obviously the team title is what you want, and obviously kind of even seeking individual titles is what you want too. But a third place finish and a fourth place finish is not anything to sweep under the rug. How do you think the overall season was?
In cross country, it was very fun, especially because that was my first season with May River as a team. Well, I had track season, then that season, but it was the first time I had a lot of runners to be with in cross. Because like the years before, I was with my church's team, as I said before, seventh and eighth grade. So it was really cool to have that team aspect of trying to win things. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I want to bring up that too, because you mentioned that you mentioned obviously kind of probably alone running at the church. Competition's just not quite there, but you were surrounded by just talent, a lot of talent. How did that kind of make you um, a better runner, having talent to kind of keep you honest in workouts and easy runs and kind of everything in between?
Like in cross.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was really fun. It was like, especially on easy runs, it's like there's nothing more fun than to be with a group of guys and just having fun, getting your miles in. It just kind of keeps the energy high when you're not feeling that good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Running alone is definitely if you can run alone, you're something special. It's hard. It's really tough. Um, but yeah, man, let's get into track a little bit. Track is pretty interesting too. Um, your you were more. I'm assuming you love the eight. That's your favorite event,
Um,
or I mean, you run
I
it a
think
lot.
the eight,
Same as 16.
yeah, the eight is something I think me and my coach both think I might be the best at. Personally, I like the mile more because it's like, it's the perfect mix. I feel like the eight is kind of like you go out hard and you're trying to hold on for your life, you know? Where, yeah, and the mile, I feel like I am able to settle in a lot more, even in the quicker
Yeah,
paces. I like it a lot more. But the 8 and 16 are my main events, yes. Yeah.
yeah. I saw you did like 132. I don't know if it was this year or maybe in years past. 32. Is that just like you're just not gonna touch it, or because you went sub 10? I mean,
Yeah, I might. That's a coach thing. It's like
yeah,
if he puts me in it, he puts me in it. Yeah, we did it once early. I think it was first race of the season. I ran 9:54, I think, or something like that.
yeah.
It definitely, and it was just like kind of a solo running the whole entire time. But I do think I could run pretty quick if I ran a competition 32, and I might do it junior year. I do believe we might move up.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's such a wide range. You don't see. Sometimes you'll see a double with like the 8 or the 16 or the 16 on 32, let alone a triple with 8, 16, and 32. But it would be curious. I mean, I'm curious of what the 32 would be, especially with a PR, 418 in the 16 and 154 in the 8. Like you said, the 8 is so you got to go out and you just got to kind of hang on. It seems like there's not too many people who evenly split the thing or or even negative split it, even in the professional level. You ran 154, but you were really consistent at like 156, 157. What do you think you kind of need to? Because obviously, again, you're a 154 guy. Like, there's no question about that. Um, but what do you think you need to do to kind of be a little bit more consistent at that 154, 155 range?
I think a lot of the races and meets we went to, whereas the 800 is always after the 16, and usually I double or triple. So a lot of the times I was running the 8, it was more of not a workout, but I wasn't necessarily trying to hit the times, like go all out every single race. Because I feel like almost like there's only certain races we were trying to run at our best at, I would say. Yeah.
Third at states for the 8. What was the game plan for that? Is was it just was it sit and wait? Was it go? Was it we're gonna see what everybody else does, or kind of walk me through the whole game plan on that state finish?
That one, it was because it was after the 4x8 and 16, which the 4x8 was really good that we won. We finally, we kind of got back from cross, which is fun. And then the 16, 3 laps in, I wasn't necessarily feeling that great at all. And when the pack moved, dis I kind of moved a little too late. So I was like, there was no chance of, I don't even think I could have podiumed in that one. So I decided I dropped out after 3 laps and decided I'm going to put everything in the 8. And I think it was like 30, 40 minutes after, and the legs were not there in the 8 either. So it was kind of a sad day for me.
Oh well, no, I mean again, I think third is nothing to be uh, ashamed of at all by any means. Actually, a lot of kudos, honestly, kudos to you for kind of recognizing that. I think a lot of um, I am somebody who is very like if you don't have it, dude, just drop it. You know, in the 16, like if you're not gonna make it, just drop it. And so to like, kind of recognize that and like be like, hey, I'm just gonna put all my eggs into the 800 to finish it off. Um, yeah, kudos to that. A lot of people just kind of sit and then just burn the legs even more in the 16, knowing you still had that other one. Do you hear anybody? Do you hear like your coaches or like your parents or anybody like when you're running, especially on the 800? Let's talk about track for right now, especially the 800. Like, do you hear anybody, or are you just so focused in that it just
I think it depends on the meet. I would say a lot of like local meets, I definitely hear. My coach is usually at the bell and he's yelling at my splits and stuff and telling me what to do. So I definitely hear him then, but I don't necessarily hear crowd very much. At States, I did hear it a little bit. It was kind of especially in the 4x8, it was really loud. Like when I came around that turn, it was a blur. Everything was just so loud. I was just like fight to the finish at that point because I couldn't, it was just like everything was just blurred, like blurred vision. I couldn't see who was left or right of me. I was just like, can I fight to this finish line?
Yeah. Do you? What about like cross country? I hate to go back, but yeah. But what about cross country? Like, do you hear people when you're running cross country, or because there's a little bit? Obviously, there's more people kind of surrounded by, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Like sometimes in cross, I might hear my name, but I don't necessarily know who said it
know who it
because
is.
I
Yeah,
go by and then it's like someone's yelling at me. I don't hear very much in cross. I might hear time splits, but not too much. I don't know who it is a lot of
yeah.
times.
That. um. Now, okay, we kind of talked about like cross workouts. Um, you can put cross workouts into track. You kind of think of it kind of towards more the longer distance stuff, but like the 800 especially, I was well, maybe you do the same similar workouts. Are there any track workouts that you kind of also gravitate towards that kind of
Yeah,
make you feel stronger?
yeah. For track, we definitely shift. It's not much volume, or this year we did do a little more volume than we usually do, but usually it's a lot of race pace specific stuff. And one I was really good that I felt like even 154 I felt like wasn't fully reaching what I could run, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. I think we did, it was 800 at mile race pace, 60 seconds, 400 at mile, 60 seconds, and then another 400, and then full recovery, and then 400 at 800 race pace, 30 seconds, 200 at 800 race pace, 30 seconds, and then another 200. And that one was a big confidence booster.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, in track, obviously, it's more speed based as well. It's always it's always nice to be able to like clock off kind of splits like that and maintain. That's the huge confidence boost right there alone. When you look at track season overall, then thoughts on that as far as like how you think it went. I mean, I think you put yourself in a really good position for next season. But I mean, again, overall, sometimes it's not always about time. And so to get third at states in the eight, you definitely again you put a target on your back for next year. What how would you say like overall the season how you felt it kind of went?
I think it went pretty well, especially because having the six seniors leave from our cross season. So it was the last season with them. So it was really fun to have them for this last season. And then states, it didn't necessarily go my way individually, but with us winning the 4x8, it was a big, I would say it was a plus side. Like I'm happy with it. I would have rather won the 4x8 with our team for a team win than have won the 8 and 16, I think. Because you always have more chances to do something on your own, but doing something with the team is a lot.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that up here in a little bit, but you brought it up now. Six seniors. Holy crap, dude. I don't think I've ever seen somebody get completely punched in the stomach as much as you are right now, losing that many guys on your team. Like, usually I may see like three and maybe a team that'll lose four, but six, like, Jesus, dude. Um, I guess like what is your thought process in it all? Like, how are you kind of like, I don't want to say you're like, weeping in a corner or anything, but it definitely is kind of a loss to lose that many guys, and especially obviously friends and teammates, family. But you definitely almost have to kind of take a different approach into the season because you're kind of alone. The next guy I think is like what 19, maybe 17. Um, so yeah, like, do you have a different kind of mindset as far as like how you're approaching the season for cross country this year?
Well, not exactly, because a lot last year I was working. When it came to race specific workouts, I was still running alone, but it is kind of sad not having them. But a good thing is we are getting a guy this year. He came from Japan, so he's I think his dad was transferred here, and he's a really good runner. So I will have him this year for workouts and stuff. So it is I lost six guys, but I'm bringing back a really good runners coming to
Look
train
at
with me.
you're breaking news right now, man. Nobody knows this guy. You're just breaking news. Um, that's the cool part too, though. I was gonna mention that as well. Like you never know. You never know who's gonna come and
Hmm.
join the team. I had my junior year. Um, really quick, I had a junior year. We had a really solid team. Probably would make top six at states. Not bad. Really good finish for us. Ended up getting two new runners who just like actually three new runners who just all of a sudden wanted to do it and ended up being our number one, three, and five guy on the team. And we, yeah, it just was, it was insane. It was insane. And we ended up getting, sadly, we ended up getting fourth. We kind of like you, man. We could have won that whole damn race. It just wasn't in the cards. I finished 10th at that race, and like I was kind of like the number two, number three runner for most of the year. So it's like if those guys would have, got me, it's like then we're in a different situation. But yeah, you just never know. Every single year is so different. Again, you're getting a guy from Japan like coming in, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, breaking news there. Goals for cross country. You know, these 5K. You know, I would assume sub 15:20 would be immediately something to think about. But then I'm sure there's even the talk of like 15:10 and under. What are you kind of looking at this year? What are your goals?
I have, I would say, pretty high goals for this season. Like
Say it,
some
say
people
it.
would, some people,
Sub 15, right?
some people would say, yeah, sub 15.
Oh
Some
yeah,
people would
dude.
say it's, yeah, some people would say it's kind of cocky of me to think that, but I like to think of it as delusional confidence. Like you can't go into something without, like, if you don't have a dream, without the dream, there's no, you can't, you have to think big picture. There's no like, what was I gonna say here? There's no, like, you have to have a dream to have a, you can't do something without actually thinking it in your mind, you know? It's like you can't not believe something and do it. It's kind of like that. Like I have to have at least a hope. It's like to train forward to. Yeah.
So sub 15? Is it like low? Is it like you could say? Is it like what 1440s, 1430s?
I would no, I would be happy for anything under 15. Yeah.
Anything under 15? Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
shit.
I'd
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, then that's cool. And then I guess no matter what, are you gonna do like Foot Locker or an XR or anything like that then?
I think the plan this year is to go back to Foot Locker. And I'm really, the goal this year is to get as closest to qualifying out as I can, which I think it's possible, but it's going to need to be, you have to show up on that day because there's a lot of 14:30, 14:40 runners. There's definitely over 20 probably going in this year. And it's like they're not necessarily everyone on the day isn't going to be able to run that time. And usually it's like so usually it has to be like 15 flat and under that can get in. So it's
Yeah.
like as long as I can put forward my best step on the day, I think I have a chance of getting in. So that's my individual goal to do this year.
Yeah, Foot Locker is always kind of interesting because one year it'll be low, it'll be like, 1450s and below get in. And then there's just sometimes when it just for some reason the course runs slow, it's like 1510. But you could be a state champion and not even make it to nationals in that race.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
have to run well that day. I've seen so many
Hmm.
guys you expect to be there and then they get 11th or 12th or
Hmm.
15th. Yeah, Foot Locker is a really interesting race in itself. Um, 11th returning out of all classifications individually. Um, Speaking with you right now, I feel like that's even too high. I think you're more in like top five. At least from other guys I've spoken to as well, and just their demeanor and listening to your goals. Um, and then 17th as a team returning. In your class, obviously, again losing so many seniors definitely will do that to you. Um,
Hmm.
do you look at rankings at all? Like when it comes to like the team and then like even just across the whole spectrum through all the classes, like do you kind of look and see like, well, I'm ranked 11th coming in. Like again, I just talking to you, I feel like that's not insulting, but I feel like you're better than that one too.
Hmm. Like I do sometimes. I find it kind of fun just to look at because I'm just I feel like I'm very absorbed in running. I like to know everything, you know. But I feel like sometimes it's not good to always be like, oh, look, I'm 15, I'm 14, I'm 13, you're 8. It's like it doesn't really matter what you are. It's what you can do on the certain day on the course. If you're looking at like, oh man, there's a 1450 guy going into this race. I have no chance, you know. I feel like that's a really bad mindset to be in. So I've been working this year just to stay away from it and to just focus on myself. It's like I'm lined up with this person next to me. If I have no idea how fast this person is, I just want to beat them, you know. We're all here, we're on the same course, you know. Just who can outrun the other, you know. It doesn't really matter
Yeah,
what timestamp they have above their head.
yeah. No, that's again, and just like we were saying, like it's just like Foot Locker. You know, you could have XPR and not even run it that day. So,
Exactly.
um, two more things I'm curious on. I love asking this question, because it's just fascinating. um, when you're on the line for cross country and you're doing like your run outs, right? Um, do you guys do a team huddle?
Yes, we do a team huddle.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's number one. What do you guys talk about in that team huddle? Did you guys do like a prayer? Do you guys say something like inspirational? You guys goof off? Like what kind of happens in there?
Yeah, usually like sometimes it can get goofy, but usually we're kind of nervous and locked in. But yeah, yeah, usually one of the seniors talks about, how our training's gone and like what we've been through, and then we pray. And then I always like to say like, I always like in my belief, I'm a Christian, and I think that everything's whatever happens, it's God's plan, And I always say like whatever happens in this race, even at States, it was hard to, but it's like whatever happens, if I run first or I run last, I'm giving all the glory and all the praise to God, because He set my path before I've run the course, and whatever happens, it's His will. So that's what I always talk about that before I race. And even after States, it was very hard to, but I had to get in the right mind space too after.
Yeah, and I guess now, I mean, again, losing so many people, are you gonna kind of take up the mantle of that and kind of speak? I mean, you're kind of the guy now. You're gonna be the one who like speaks the most in those kind of conversations, or are you
Yeah, I
gonna do
probably
that?
will. Yeah, definitely I will. It definitely feels weird because I felt like for a while I was like I was the underclassman. It's
Yeah.
very weird to me being a junior, going into junior. It's like, wow, I'm not a freshman or a sophomore anymore. It's time to actually, hit the times and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the times and honestly, even just being a leader, leadership position, um, leading this team into obviously the next kind of generation, the next class forward, especially kind of in a quote unquote down year. But who knows? Like you said, you got a teammate coming in. You get a couple guys training in the summertime. You never know. Couple more things. I know keep kind of going on, but it's a good conversation. Um, Summer training right now. Are you training right now or are you on break still?
Yes, it's my first week back this week.
First
Yeah.
week back. Nice.
Hmm.
How long did you take off? Did you take 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yeah, coach demands that 2 weeks is the minimum we have to take off. It always like irritates me, but like it needs to happen. So yeah, I took 2 weeks off and now I'm back.
Yeah, it is such a long season in itself. I mean, it's June, mid June. We're, you know, we're looking at November time frame as when everything
Exactly,
needs to kind of really be
exactly,
rolling in. So yeah, definitely, I get that. I know it can be like a little irritating. It's like, oh, I just want to get out and run, especially from having such a good season in track. You kind of want to roll it in, but yeah, kudos
exactly.
to
Yeah,
you, kudos to your coach. You got to take the break. Jackson, hey man, I appreciate you coming on, dude. I definitely would love to catch up. Hopefully towards like the beginning of the year or even in season. And
hmm,
definitely, if you're at a meet, if we're at the same meet, man, definitely would love to say hey and pick your brain some more, get a good interview in. But thanks for coming
okay,
on, man. I really appreciate it.
yeah. Thanks for inviting me.